I had been looking forward to surprising Emily all week. After spending 2 exhausting days at the fire safety conference in Calgary, finishing ahead of schedule, I decided to drive straight back to Vancouver, skipping the closing banquet entirely. It wasn't just about saving time, it was about her, about us. 37 years of marriage had taught me that the little moments, unexpected visits, shared smiles, a warm embrace, were more precious than any grand gesture. Life had a way of slipping through our fingers if we didn't hold on to these tiny sparks. And Emily's face lighting up when I walked through the door unexpectedly had always been my personal reward, a reminder of why life, even in its mundane routines, was worth every effort. That September afternoon, the sun was beginning its slow descent behind the mountains, painting the sky with streaks of gold and crimson. The Maple Ridge air carried a crispness that hinted at the coming autumn, and I breathed it in deeply as I drove. Our modest 2-story home, purchased in 1992 when I was still serving with the Vancouver Fire Department, had always felt like a sanctuary, a safe harbor from the chaos of the world. Each corner of the house carried memories. The worn stairway where Emily had once tripped, our wedding photos lined in the hallway, the old oak table in the dining room where countless family dinners had taken place. But today, as I turned into the driveway, an uneasy silence hung in the air, heavier than the usual quiet of an afternoon nap. Outside, I noticed David's BMW park alongside a silver Lexus I didn't recognize and another luxury car, sporting Ontario plates. My chest tightened. David rarely visited during weekdays, and never without calling first. Something was off. The careful arrangement of cars, the subtle air of unfamiliarity, it was all too deliberate to be random. I grabbed my duffel bag and approached the front door, my hand pausing over the handle as I heard voices from inside. Laughter. Confident, masculine voices. Then David's smooth, practiced chuckle. But Emily's voice was absent. My heart sank, and a cold knot formed in my stomach. Something was wrong. Very wrong. Setting my bag down, I stepped inside quietly, trying to make as little sound as possible. The voices seemed to come from the kitchen. I crept forward, each step measured, my pulse pounding. And then I saw her. Emily was sitting on the couch, shoulders shaking, hands pressed to her face. These weren't the occasional tears she reserved for movies or nostalgic memories. They were raw, desperate sobs. Tissues littered the coffee table. My heart stopped. The sight of her in this state made me feel like the floor had been ripped out from under me. "Emily," I whispered, moving around the couch. Her eyes lifted to mine, relief washing over her face, a relief that broke me. Her cheeks were blotchy, mascara running down in streaks. "Michael," she gasped. "You're home." "Oh God, you're home," I murmured, pulling her into my arms. Her body trembled against mine, and I felt a wave of anger and sorrow I hadn't anticipated. I had imagined surprises before, happy ones, but nothing had prepared me for this. The laughter in the kitchen ceased abruptly. Footsteps approached. David appeared in the doorway, followed by his wife Samantha and 2 others I barely recognized. Her parents, William and Margaret Hartley. "Dad," David said, a flash of guilt, or was it surprise, crossing his face before vanishing. I kept my arm around Emily. "What's going on here? Why is she crying?" William stepped forward, tall, silver-haired, a polished smile that belonged in boardrooms. "Michael, good to see you. We were discussing family matters." "Family matters?" I echoed, narrowing my eyes. Samantha stepped closer to David. "We were helping your mother with some practical decisions about the future," she said, her voice calm, almost rehearsed. I turned to Emily. "What decisions?" She shook her head, fumbling as she handed me a stack of papers from the coffee table. "Legal documents." My stomach dropped. Power of attorney forms, property transfers, all in David's name. "This isn't estate planning," I said, voice tight. "This is an attempt to take our house." David's tone was calm, measured, almost legalistic. "We're safeguarding your assets. Your parents' experience can help minimize probate and taxes." "I don't care about your financial schemes," I snapped. "Did you coerce her into this?" Emily shook her head, tears streaming. "They pressured me for hours. Said the lawyer was waiting. Said I was being selfish. putting you at risk. My eyes caught a teacup on the table. A cold chill ran down my spine. You gave her tea? I asked, voice low. Chamomile, Samantha replied, as if that explained everything. Upset? You made her cry. I barked. How long have you planned this, David? I demanded. Dad, we just wanted to help, he said, his voice trembling slightly. Help? By terrorizing my wife while I'm away. I shot back, anger and disbelief colliding. William stepped closer, the scent of cologne thick in the air. Michael, calm down. Read the documents. Let's approach this rationally. Out, I said firmly. He hesitated, then backed away. After they left, I locked the door and turned to Emily, still trembling on the couch. I'm sorry, she whispered. They took my phone, said it was to show me something, and then William held on to it. I couldn't call you. A cold dread washed over me. They had trapped her, and I hadn't been there to protect her. Did you drink the tea? I asked cautiously. Just a few sips, she replied. Tell me everything, I urged. Over the next hour, Emily recounted the events. David had called the day before, claiming he wanted to discuss family matters. She assumed it was trivial, a trip, an anniversary plan. But when Hartley's arrived, they brought folders filled with legal papers. Initially, it seemed routine, but the pressure escalated quickly. They demanded immediate signatures. The lawyer was waiting. When she asked to delay, they refused. When she tried to call me, William took the phone. When she tried to leave, Margaret blocked her path. David remained silent, complicit. They wanted everything, I said grimly, examining the papers. Financial and medical power of attorney, property deeds, including our home and Whistler cabin. If signed, David could control all our finances and medical decisions, even commit us to care facilities. Emily's face drained of color. That's impossible. We're healthy. With the right pressure, it's terrifyingly possible, I said, my voice shaking. That night, I lay awake, questioning the son I had raised. Ambitious, yes, but greedy? Cruel? When had David become this man? The thought that the person I had nurtured, loved, and trusted could betray us in such a calculated way was unbearable. I replayed every interaction, every argument, every smile that had once seemed innocent. The betrayal was deep, cutting into the foundation of family trust one had assumed unbreakable. I contacted Robert Chun, my former fire captain and longtime friend, now a private investigator. His calm, precise voice over the phone was a lifeline. We'll handle it carefully, he said. Document everything, and I'll start pulling records. We'll know the extent of their scheme. The next day, Emily agreed to a blood test. Dr. Sarah Mitchell ran a full toxicology panel. Robert contacted his RCMP connections. By afternoon, Sergeant Patricia Morrison was at our home, taking notes, collecting evidence, and asking precise professional questions. The test confirmed our worst fears. Emily had diazepam in her system without her consent. Morrison acted swiftly. By evening, William, Margaret, Samantha, and David were arrested. Evidence included prior cases, prescription bottles, emails, and recordings from our home confrontation. The trial stretched over 6 long, grueling months. David maintained a facade of ignorance, but the evidence painted him as the mastermind. 12 other families came forward, exposing a sophisticated, widespread scheme. David was sentenced to 10 years in prison, his professional license revoked. The others were also imprisoned. Letters from David arrived over time. The first, filled with excuses. The second, 2 years later, brief and remorseful. Mom and Dad, I'm sorry. I understand now. I'm ashamed. I love you both. Emily debated replying. I resisted. Eventually, she sent a short note acknowledging responsibility. David's response, thank you. That's more than I deserve. 3 years later, David has 2 years remaining. Emily and I remain safely in our Maple Ridge home, secured with cameras and alarms. Our Whistler cabin is ours, though we have yet to return. Robert and his wife remain close friends. We travel, volunteer, and continue raising awareness about scams. Through this ordeal, I realized that betrayal can strike from within, that those closest to us can sometimes be the most dangerous. But I also discovered resilience, the strength of a united family, the power of truth, and the importance of vigilance. We survived. We are stronger. Forgiveness may not fully come, but peace exists in knowing we protected ourselves and others. David is still our son, but no longer the boy we raised. The sun sets over the mountains, and we watch together, scarred, wary, but unbroken. If you or someone you know is facing financial abuse, elder manipulation, or coercion, take action immediately. Document everything, seek professional guidance, and involve law enforcement if necessary. Awareness and vigilance can prevent tragedies before they happen. Protect your loved ones and share this message to raise awareness.